Alrighty folks, we're looking at round 2, game 2 on 16-bit. It is 1-0 to the Zerg. Can the Protoss turn this around in this best of 3? Who knows? Now, what I'm most interested in is how these two players are going to do stuff different from last game, as this map has a very safe expand in the early game. I would love to see the Zerg go hatch first instead of pool first. Okay. Pool first once again. Hopefully this time though, the Zerg actually attacks quickly as you're supposed to if you're going pool first. And the Protoss obviously is making a wall off. We are seeing though the extractor taken a lot earlier than last time. Maybe this is actually a build. Maybe we're seeing a structured plan of attack, which I would love to see. However, once again, no scout. Just grab it, click here, send it. You can see what your opponent's doing. It's so worth it. Why would you not? At least, though, the Protoss is getting a lovely scout, which is what would really alert you to this early pull and early gas. And the Roach Warren. Oh, this could be a big scout. If this is a one base, like Roach Ravager all in, it could be decimated by this scout. But the work's been taken out of the gas. You're not mining gas. Why have you taken the gas? You're not going to mine from it. Are you not wanting Ling speed or Roaches, Ravengers? Instead, the scout will come. It will see the super early Roach Warren. It will see that there's nothing really here. So he's going to be assuming this is like a one base all in. In reality, I don't think that's the case. I think this is just the Zerg player knows they want Roaches. I mean, you've just built 3 drones instead of 3 Roaches, but you can't, because you've got no gas. What's going on? I think the Zerg has just said, I want Roaches, built the Roach Run as quickly as possible. That's not what you want to do. You want to have these expands. You're only now putting up your natural at 2 minutes 30. I have a funny feeling this game could go differently and be a Protoss victory. It's just... it really makes you wonder why Malcolm gave me these games. Are we going to see a quick third though? Now that is promising. You've gone so far behind economically, this is drastically needed, and I think this is maybe looking better for the Zerg now, this quick double expand, but we need to see these injects. I would like it as well if you built a queen out of this. This finishes up and you can transfer the queen over. Just get those quicker injects and spend that money. Now the Protoss is going a Robo and a Stargate, so we're either going to see Air Toss with some maybe Warp Gate and Observers, not Warp Gate, Warp Prism and Observers coming out of this, or we'll be seeing a ground army with maybe an Oracle Harass, which I would not mind. Warp Gate is coming up, but the Protoss has hit a supply block, and oh, transfer a few workers out, buddy. Oh, that's why. Still no natural. Realistically, you want the natural before these structures, because you're going to have such a crap economy. It's not going to be able to fund it. Oof. Here comes an Immortal and an Observer and a Stargate. So I'm assuming the Immortal is because you scouted that Roach Run. You're thinking there's a push with Roaches. Immortals are great. I would also love some shield batteries. That would really just secure this position. But yeah, as soon as that Observer comes out over this side of the map, you'll realise very quickly. My opponent has built that for nothing and is going into a Spire now. So we have 3 Roaches on the map, 5 now, and a Spire. I do wonder why you've built this so quickly. You could have waited till like maybe 3.5, 4 minutes and still have the same amount of Roaches as you do now. Just a much better economy. Right now, the Protoss as well has taken the third very nicely. Both players have done that where they've teched up loads on one base and have had to double expand to catch up because they didn't scout. Well, the Protoss actually did scout. This is an appropriate response, but the Zerg didn't scout and didn't know the Protoss are just going to turtle up. You could have been expanding so much quicker. Instead, we're seeing the Protoss and the Zerg on the same amount of bases, which you don't really want to see. You want this Zerg to be ahead in bases, ahead in workers, and just in general ahead. A Hydra... See, it's good to have these structures, but you need a plan, because you're sort of wasting minerals and gas building these things when they're not yet needed. That's a big issue and can really turn your game around. Because right now as well, you've had this Spire for ages. There's no muters, no corruptors, nothing. It's not needed to be built if you're not building anything. Now here finally come the muters, but it doesn't stop this being a waste, and the gas has been taken, but there's no workers. This isn't fully saturated. You want to be droning up. You've got the Observer coming out soon. We've got the 2 Immortals here. Lovely stuff. Oh, and the Oracle is making a move. Hopefully, we will see maybe a couple kills, a Stasis Ward. Because I feel like you can take these few out here. Because the Queen is, in fact, out of position. And if this Zerg were to have scouted, they would know not to plop it here. Plop it here to defend the mineral line, but... Granted, you don't need to defend if it's just going to sit. Come on! What have we got? A double Stargate. So this is going to be Air Toss as a follow-up from the Protoss, which I don't really mind, actually, after what you've seen. Now, you really do need to be getting this Oracle in, dealing damage. You know, there's, what, a couple Queens... couple muters, you can easily get 4 or 5 drones. Come on. And they're getting +1 air attack now. And Void Rays. They're great against roaches, but if you are to see this, which you do with your Observer, you'll know Phoenix are good against them. They can be quite good against a small amount of Hydras with pickups as well, and Void Rays won't do the best in this situation. Really. I mean, has this Oracle just gone home? No. Has this been like an F2? Oh, it's an F2 move, bringing the Oracle home to do no harassment. How disappointing. But a fleet beacon, so this is going to be mass carriers from the Protoss, which I do not mind. I am an avid fan and do like a Protoss mass carrier death ball to easily win the game. Now, the Zerg, to stop this, especially with +1 air attack coming, you want to be attacking quickly. That's a big investment that's needed to get those carriers out. And right now, if you're scouting, you know you're so far ahead. I think you can just go across the map. That's it, go across the map. You can probably take this out with no shield batteries. I think you can just end the game. But there's no scouting. The macro's pretty poor. The 4th base is being taken at least for the Zerg, but you need to be attacking quickly. You need a big army because your opponent will just start deathballing. And these aren't the best units against it. You want Corruptors. You want loads more Queens for those transfuses. Oh, +2 air attack as well is coming along with those carriers, and a 4th Stargate. However, this is a move, the Infestation Pit. If you can get some Infestors out, you can Neural Parasite and steal 4, 5, 6 carriers, and that would instantly turn the tide of battle. That's it. Get the muters across the map. No! Your muters need to be harassing, because not just about harassment with muters, they also can scout when you fly them into the base. Oh, and with such an immobile army, these muters can just work wonders. Now the Protoss is getting a 4th base, which I think is necessary with this carrier production. I'd like to see some chronoing. I'd like to see both being used, getting armor in this and attack in this, but the fact that we're just getting upgrades, I'm quite happy about. We don't see that too often. The Zerg player just sitting around doing nothing while the opponent is making moves. That's not what you want. You can send that army and take out this entire base and just run away. The Protoss ain't going to do nothing. This is highly disappointing with the lack of harass. It's the 10-minute mark and neither player has been inside their opponent's base since the first minute. We need more scouting and more harassing. Delay your opponent. Come on. We do see the Muta move out at least, and they are going to do bits against this mineral line. These carriers are all over here. The Void Rays are over here. They're going to take a while to get to this side. And oh, it's just going to be destruction, just pure destruction of the entire mineral line. I think that's, what, 19 kills? 19 and a carrier that you can pick off as it pops out. Now, run away. You don't want to fight, that's it. Run away and just run to the other side. Get all the workers here. Do what you just did then. That is rough, though, especially for carrier production. You desperately need to get those workers back, because that is brutal. Carriers are not cheap. But does the Zerg have enough to win the game? It'd be close. It would be close. How are the upgrades looking? Okay, it's looking better than last game, but the +2 air on the carriers, I mean, how many carriers are there now? 7 carriers, 3, 4 more on the way, very soon. This death pool is going to be too much. Now, we are seeing Burrow, which is always nice to see. Ultralisks, though, you've just seen your opponents going mass air. You don't want Ultralisks. Oh, it's a big waste of... Oh, no, don't fight. You got to run. You want your whole army together if you're going to try and engage. But even then... you're going to have to make sure that you're target firing down every single carrier. I think 4 or 5 infestors just nabbing, taking half of the carriers to be your own. Oh, the mutas are firing at the interceptors as well instead of the carriers. Oh, this is brutal. This is just pure destruction. Yeah, no, this is the game. This is just GG's. That is the entire Zerg army gone. And we have 9 mutalisks. Mutas, I'm afraid to tell you, they're not the best in a head-on fight. You want corruptors. Mutas are great for harass, not in a fight. And because of that, the Protoss is just going to go across the map, kill this one useless spore crawler, this lone queen, and just end the game. Like, it doesn't even matter, you've just, moved across the map, lost a Void Wraith because of it. You just have so much stuff, it's over. There's nothing these Zerg can do. You've just not expanded quick enough, not spent your money quick enough, and not built the correct units or scouted. The scouting has really been the downfall here. I feel like a good scout, seeing its going carriers, you could have pushed earlier, or you could have built a correct army, but that is that, sadly. And this is game 1, surely over. Not game 1, game 2 over. And we'll be in for a decider in game 3 to see who goes out and who advances onto the next round. And there's the GG. It is 1-1.